Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G Lauren 33. I want to welcome you guys back to the Legit Shoot podcast. Here with your Monday Night Raw review and results for June 22nd, 2020. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe and healthy. Hopefully, everyone is staying safe out in these crazy times. If I sound a little bit louder than usual, you guys know I always do the Raw reviews when I'm at work because I work every Monday. And I forgot to bring my mic. I forgot to bring my Yeti mic that I use to record. So I have to be a little bit louder on tonight's pod. So hopefully you guys can hear me. So if I get a little bit too loud, just let me know in the chat. So I'll bring it down. I usually don't forget my mic, but I did accidentally forget it for today. So please forgive me on that. But we got the Monday Night Raw review, and what should I say? How was Monday Night Raw this evening? Well, it was garbage as usual. The third hour of Raw tonight, though, was actually pretty decent because you had Sasha Banks, the best female wrestler in the world, which we're going to talk about a lot. I'm going to talk about her in the opening shoot. So the way I'm going to start doing the podcast now is at the beginning of every single pod. All right. At the beginning of every single review, I'm going to have something called the first shoot. All right. The first shoot. This podcast is called the Legit Shoot Podcast. And, let's say what? 85% of the time I'm ranting because WWE is retarded in its logic and booking. So at the beginning of the podcast, I'm going to spend maybe like the first 5 to 10 minutes shooting on something. It could be something good, it could be something bad. But that's the way I'm gonna open. And the legit shoot to the open tonight's podcast tonight is on Sasha Banks. And she's the best female wrestler in the world. We'll talk about her in just a sec. But the third hour of Raw tonight was the best hour of the show. The first 2 hours was garbage. Randy Orton and freaking Big Show in 2020. You guys know how much I ran on the Big Show last week. Don't get me started on that nonsense. Drew McIntyre getting challenged by Dolph Ziggler the same way Dolph Ziggler challenged Kofi Kingston for the Raw, or not for the Raw, for the WWE Championship last year around this time. WWE's creativity is off the change, right? What the hell? The 24/7 Championship getting more than 2 segments on this show? Are you kidding me? Nia Jax and Charlotte feuding? Please, let me vomit some more. And why is WWE still protecting Charlotte and Nia Jax? Yes, Asuka finally beat Charlotte. Finally beat Charlotte for the first time ever tonight on Monday Night Raw. But still, it wasn't clean because WWE made an excuse for Charlotte already. Already. This is my problems with Monday Night Raw. Let's be serious here. Let's be honest. You guys know that I don't bullshit you. You guys know how WWE is. All right? But we're going to talk about all that. But the third hour was the only decent hour of Raw tonight. We had Sasha Banks. We had Asuka. We had Rey Mysterio and Dominic, which is probably the best story on WWE television right now for Monday Night Raw. You also had MVP, who has been, in my opinion, MVP's been fantastic since coming in as a manager. But everything else on this show was, other than the first 2 hours, man, was okay. The third hour was pretty good, but the first 2 hours was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. But first of all, this is what I want to talk about for the legit, or for the first shoot. It's going to take me a while to get used to saying that. But for the first shoot, it's Sasha Banks. If you guys saw earlier, I posted a video about the whole Sasha Banks and Sammy Guevara situation that took place on Twitter today. If you guys didn't know, Sammy was suspended by AEW because of comments he made about Sasha Banks back in 2016. Horrific comments. I'm not going to go into that. If you guys want to check that out, I did a 20-minute video discussing that. Go check it out after the podcast tonight. But we're talking about Sasha Banks, the wrestler. All right, the wrestler, the best female wrestler in the world. And you guys honestly think, when I say that, I'm just saying that because she's my favorite wrestler. Yes, Sasha is easily by far my favorite wrestler. But when I say she is the best female wrestler on the planet, I mean that with all my heart. It is not a joke. It is not a game. It is not a lie. It is the truth. It is the truth, people. Get it through your head. Get it through your thick skulls. All right? Sasha has probably been on the best run of her career as of late. Let's be serious, right? I think we can all agree with that. Sasha's been in the best role of her career, or her main roster career. I'm not going to count NXT, but her main role. We have never seen Sasha win this many matches, have this much success since she came to the main roster. All right. Someone says who's my favorite men's wrestler? AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole. Those are my three. And John Cena. Those are my four favorite main roster wrestlers. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Sasha's been on a tear as of late. She's been winning matches left and right. She's the women's tag team titles. And, you know, you guys knew how scared I was entering Monday Night Raw tonight. I thought WWE was going to end Sasha Banks and Bayley's title reign. I thought Sasha's curse of not being able to hold a main roster women's championship longer than 30 days was going to continue. Luckily, WWE made the right decision, and now we have a clear path towards Sasha Banks and Bayley at Extreme Rules. All right? Clear path. Everything is set in stone. You guys can see Sasha Banks and Bayley, they are best friends. They're women's tag team champions. Sasha Banks has been teasing for months. Every single segment her and Bayley are in, she is looking at Bayley SmackDown Women's Championship. And we're all waiting for the day that Sasha challenges Bayley. And they teased that tonight. First off, you had the Women's Tag Team Championship match against the Iconics. And Sasha had a beautiful, beautiful transition into the big statement. Bayley was on the outside because Sasha got pushed or got thrown into Bayley. So Bayley got knocked out of the ring. So it's 2-on-1. It looks like Sasha has, nowhere to go. But she has a beautiful 2-on-1 transition into the base statement, making Peyton Royce tap out. Sasha finally gets payback. Sasha finally gets payback on Peyton Royce for what happened at WrestleMania last year. You guys already know the nightmares. I say this every podcast, how Sasha and Bayley should have never lost the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania last year. I say this almost every single podcast because it is facts. It is the truth. It is the truth. And now Sasha finally gets that win back. The loss that should have never happened. But, the big thing happens after the match. After the match, we see Sasha and Bayley. I'm just like, who's going to attack Sasha and Bayley and be the next challengers? Remember, Bayley hasn't defended the SmackDown Women's title since Money in the Bank. But yet, Sasha goes right up to Bayley, and Bayley, or Sasha's like, I'm jealous. I am honestly jealous. You're my best friend. I'm jealous because you are Bayley Dostraps, and I want to be a double champion as well. And Sasha goes straight up to Bayley. She's like, I want a title match. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I'm over here jumping at my work desk like, no way. Are we going to get Sasha and Bayley at Extreme Rules? Is that what's going to happen here? No. What happens is Sasha is like, I want a title match at Extreme Rules. And Bayley's like, what the hell is going on? I'm just like, whoa. But then Sasha's like, so at Extreme Rules, I challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. And yes, I can't be hypocritical. I can't be hypocritical here. There are problems with this. Sasha is a SmackDown superstar challenging for a Raw title. And yes, Sasha is able to go to any show she wants because she is a women's tag team champion. It's not like Charlotte when she won the Royal Rumble. It's not like Sasha has Money in the Bank or anything like that. But here's the thing. You look at the Raw Women's division. What have I been complaining about since Backlash? At Extreme Rules, we're going to get a triple threat between Charlotte, Nia Jax, and Asuka. That's what almost 90% of the community thought going into tonight's show. And then what happened with the Asuka and Charlotte match, which we'll talk about in a little bit, we were all scared, okay, Sasha is, going to do what she has to do with Bayley, and then we're going to get Charlotte pinning Nia Jax at Extreme Rules, to make her Raw Women's champion. Asuka's not going to get pinned. That's going to lead to Charlotte versus Asuka at SummerSlam. That's what we all thought we were going to get, But aren't you guys happy? Sasha has been on a roll as of late. She has been on a roll. Sasha and Bayley have been the best thing in the women's division by far. WWE is stupid, and they fired Paul Heyman. And look it, they're not building up Liv Morgan. They're not building up Ruby Riott. They're not building up Shayna Baszler. They're not building up Bianca Belair. All mistakes in my opinion. But right now, who's built up to actually face Asuka? Do you guys honestly want to see a Charlotte versus Asuka again, or Charlotte versus Nia Jax, or a triple threat? Or you guys want to see Asuka versus Charlotte? One of those 4 matches? No. Sasha versus Asuka is a match people were wanting for years for a championship title. It has match of the year written all over it. All over it. We want, how many times have we been saying Sasha versus Asuka, Sasha versus Io Shirai, Sasha versus Bayley? All 3 of those matches are match of the year candidates. We have not seen Sasha versus Asuka in 3 years. Or no, was it 3 years or 2 years? I mean, 2.5 years. You guys get the point. Not since the first Royal Rumble back in 2018, we haven't seen that match. And we've always wanted to see it for a title. A world title feud between Sasha and Asuka that has match of the year written all over it. We talk all the time about how great the matches Charlotte and Asuka have. Sasha Banks is the best female wrestler in the world, and Asuka is second in my opinion. If WWE gives them 20 to 25 minutes at Extreme Rules, match of the year. Right up there with AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Right up there with Edge and Randy Orton. Are you kidding me right now? Nobody else is built up in the Raw Women's division right now. Nobody else is built up in that division. All right? And it's sad and it shouldn't be that way. But hey, I will take Sasha versus Asuka any day over Charlotte or Nia Jax. And please, we know Sasha's not going to win. We know Sasha, as great as the concept of Sasha and Bayley being both double champions would be, we know Sasha is not going to win. She's been on a hot streak, but it's going to cool her down and it's going to lead us right towards Bayley. This is storytelling 101. Sasha and Bayley are best friends. What's going to happen at Extreme Rules? Sasha and Asuka are going to have a fantastic match. Sasha's going to be in control near the end. Right? She might have Asuka in the bank statement or something like that. Bayley's going to come out, right? Bayley will probably have a match early in the evening, but against somebody else from SmackDown, probably Dana Brooke or something we don't care about. Bayley will successfully defend. Sasha will go up against Asuka. Bayley's going to come out, and she's going to cost Sasha the victory. She's going to act like she was helping Sasha, but instead, it's going to distract Sasha enough that she gets beat by Asuka. Hopefully, we don't have to see Sasha tap out like the Asuka walk or anything like that. But still, you guys get the point. And then that's going to get Sasha angry because Bayley got involved in her match. Remember when Bayley got involved with Sasha Banks versus Lacey Evans? When Sasha was trying to qualify for Money in the Bank? It's the same situation. Bayley's going to get involved. She's going to cost Sasha the Raw Women's Championship, right? Now you're going to finally have the conflict and the tension there between the two. And then, probably after Extreme Rules, Sasha and Bayley are going to have to defend those tag team titles. Hopefully, in my opinion, I would do it against a team from NXT. We don't need the Iconics. We don't need Bliss and Cross. Hopefully, it's against somebody else. But you're going to have Sasha and Bayley defend those tag team titles after Extreme Rules. Then they're going to probably lose the tag team titles, and that's going to be what sets Sasha up. Sasha's going to be mad at Bayley for costing her the Raw Women's Championship, now also costing her the Women's Tag Team Championships. It makes perfect sense, guys. This is storytelling 101. Come on, guys. Use your brains. Use your brains. Am I really that smart? And then Sasha's going to have enough. It's going to lead us to Sasha Banks and Bayley at SummerSlam. And then there you go. You get the Sasha and Bayley feud we've been waiting years for. It's storytelling 101. I've been watching WWE for 21 years. Come on. Come on. It writes itself. So honestly, the Raw Women's Championship, not having Nia or Charlotte in the title picture for right now, it's fine. And then whatever. Once we get to SummerSlam, Sasha and Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, and then you have you can do whatever you want with Asuka. All right, they'll probably do the triple threat. I would bring back Shayna Baszler or bring up Bianca Belair, but it makes perfect sense in my opinion. Come on, it writes itself, people. It writes itself. I'm too smart. I'm too good for this. Come on. So there you go. There's your opening shoot, man. But Sasha versus Asuka, it's the best thing for the women's division right now. You have nobody else built up. Plus, it keeps Charlotte and Nia Jax out of the title picture. And it's going to lead us to Sasha Banks and Bayley. Yes, Sasha versus Asuka doesn't need to happen. Sasha's not even a Raw superstar. But think of the bigger picture. Think of the bigger storyline in this circumstance. Yes, you can also make an argument that WWE should just merge the divisions. But they're not going to do that. Let's be serious. They're not going to merge the tag team divisions, which need to be merged more than the women's division should be merged. Until we see the day when the women's divisions are merged, that I know this is the way WWE is gonna do it. Let's be serious. Let's be honest here. But there's your legit opening right there. Your opening shoot, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way. We'll talk about Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Iconics a little bit later because you guys know I want to try to keep the podcast under an hour. So honestly, let's get to it. So the show opened up with Drew McIntyre, and this is the way Raw should be starting. You know, I agree with JD when he says this. Drew McIntyre is your WWE champion. Your WWE champion should be opening and ending almost every single show. When John Cena, when CM Punk, when Daniel Bryan, Triple H, Randy Orton back in the day, when they were the WWE champion, almost every single show they would open up and they would also close because the WWE champion or the Universal champion, they're supposed to be the main figure of your show. The only time when it's okay for your WWE champion not to open or end the show is when you have a women's feud that is just as, if not more important than what's going on with your main title. Because the women's title, in my opinion, the women's title should be equal to the main championship on the brand. So on Raw, the WWE Championship and the Raw Women's Championship should be equal because the male and female divisions should be equal. And on SmackDown, the Universal title and the SmackDown Women's title should be equal if you're trying to keep the divisions equal, which WWE should be promoting, especially if you're getting Sasha Banks and Asuka. Woo! Right? That can carry you throughout the rest of the year if you want. But Drew McIntyre comes out and they're moving him on for Bobby Lashley. Remember, it was reported that WWE wanted to do 2 or 3 matches with McIntyre and Lashley. Looks like those plans have been scrapped for now, and that's the way it should be. Lashley had 2 titles in 2 consecutive days. He lost both of those matches. Bye bye. You're done. But I predicted this on Friday. It was announced on Friday that AJ Styles being traded to SmackDown would they would have the picks or the superstars that would move to Raw in the trade that would be announced later on. WWE moved on that it would have AJ Styles and Bobby Roode. They would be the two. Junior, I'm not using my Yeti mic. I did bring my mic to work today, so unfortunately, you guys have to listen to me using my camera phone. If I'm not loud enough, just let me know. So like, just forgive me on that. Forgive. I'm sorry that my mic is not as good as it usually is. I'm trying to be as loud as possible, but just just forgive me. Forgive me, guys. All right. All right. Hopefully. All right. I'm gonna try to speak a little bit louder. Anyway, back to what we were saying. Drew McIntyre should be opening your show all the time. Remember, when AJ Styles was traded to SmackDown, it was announced that the people that would be moved to Raw in that trade would be announced later on. Now, it was announced that Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, they would be the 2 superstars that would be moved to Monday Night Raw and resolve that trade. So 2 for 1. As good as Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode are, they're just not booked on the level a uh, of a AJ Styles. And Pot, I see what you say. I completely agree with you, brother. Completely agree. I never respected Charlotte to begin with, but she definitely lost even more of my respect after what she said last week. But what happened? McIntyre comes out, and I predicted this. I legit said this on the SmackDown review on Friday that they were gonna book Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre. And like I've been saying, Drew McIntyre should be holding that WWE Championship throughout all year long. And the way I would personally do it, I would be setting up Randy Orton to be the guy to challenge Drew McIntyre going into SummerSlam. In case you're not doing McIntyre versus Lesnar when Lesnar comes back. But you think about it, I told you guys that they were going to move Dolph Ziggler and put him in a feud with Drew McIntyre. It's WWE. I can read this company like a freaking book. It's the same challenges all the time. And the thing that pisses me off about this is WWE is so uncreative and so lazy when it comes to this stuff. They really are lazy. Think about it, guys. When Kofi Kingston was WWE champion last year, right? When he was WWE champion last year, how was he booked? How did Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler? How's that booked? I believe they fought at Super Showdown, and I think there was another pay per view they fought at. How is that booked? Dolph Ziggler legit came out of nowhere and challenged Kofi Kingston to a match, and Kofi, being the fighting champion that he is, accepted. They did the same thing now with Drew McIntyre. It was legit rinse and repeat. Ziggler comes out and he talks about the history that him and McIntyre have. And then basically, he says McIntyre, when McIntyre left WWE, the reason that he was able to come back and have more success, and they all remember they won the Raw Tag Team Championships together. The reason why he was able to come back and have so much success was because of Dolph Ziggler. So Ziggler took credit for McIntyre's redemption story and demanded the WWE Championship match that he believed he was owed. Remember, Ziggler said the same thing to Kofi Kingston. All right, what did he say? It's gonna be me. It's gonna be me. It should have been me. It's gonna be me. Remember that storyline? What they did with Ziggler? They're basically doing the same thing here. It's rinse and repeat. It's the same challengers, and they're booking the same storylines. Instead of giving us something intriguing with Drew McIntyre, I think a McIntyre and Ziggler feud, if it had a good story behind it, would be great. But the thing is, every time they put Ziggler in some kind of match, it's the same story every time. Oh man, I've been looked past upon for years. I deserve it. Like, no, it's rinse and repeat garbage. And Ziggler's always wearing the same outfits, asking for the same title shots, and then he could end up losing. Nobody believes that Drew McIntyre is actually going to lose to Dolph Ziggler. There's a 0.01% chance that that's going to happen. It's just going to be another guy for McIntyre to say, oh, that he beat during his title reign. All right. And probably at SummerSlam, it's either going to be Orton or Lesnar. One of those two for McIntyre's championship. McIntyre called Ziggler an entitled jackass, then asked if he really wants a match, knowing what he's capable of. Ziggler accepted, but now it's official. They already have the graphic all done. McIntyre versus Ziggler at Extreme Rules. It's going to be a great match. But let's be serious here. McIntyre is not losing to Ziggler. There is no chance. No chance. Yes, what I hope WWE does, and especially since we have at least, what is it, 3 weeks? We have a long way till freaking, what is it called? Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is what? Not till July 13th? No, July 9th. Let me check my calendar real quick. Extreme Rules. Yeah, July 19th. So how many Raws do we have till then? Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, we still have 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We technically have 4 weeks, but 3 more Monday Night Raws till that show. You guys honestly believe? That McIntyre is gonna lose to Ziggler? Give us some kind of story. Go more into detail about the history between these two men. All right, don't make it some generic story. Give us something that we can be invested in. We know it's going to be a great match, but it's not always about the match. I care about the story just as much as the match itself. We know McIntyre and Ziggler, they could potentially give us match of the night, even though I think match of the night is going to go to Sasha Banks and ASUKA at Extreme Rules. But still, man, give us a match. All right, give us a story. Give us something we could sink our teeth to, because then when we look back at McIntyre's reign, whenever it comes to an end, like I always say, McIntyre should hold that WWE Championship for most of, if not all of 2020. So then when we look back at his reign and look back at his time as WWE Champion, we can actually say, oh man, remember what he did with Ziggler? Not only was that a great match, but there was an interesting story behind it. Yes, McIntyre's had some great matches throughout his reign with Lesnar, Rollins, Lashley. Ziggler will also be another great match. But also, give us some stories. Give us something that we can, sink our teeth into, something we can actually enjoy. Come on. So, yeah, that's official. Next up, I don't know what the hell this was. Nia Jax comes out. And I was already, getting scared. I was already getting scared because I thought they were this was gonna lead to a triple threat between Asuka, Charlotte, and Nia Jax. That triple threat we've been predicting for the last couple weeks. What happens here It's Nia Jax stages protest. So Nia Jax wanted to pull a Stone Cold Steve Austin. First of all, Nia, you're not Stone Cold Steve Austin. You guys remember back in the day during the Attitude Era, whenever Stone Cold was angry with Vince McMahon, he would just come out uh, with a lunchbox full of beer cans, and then he would just drink, sit in the ring, and then wait till freaking Vince McMahon or whoever he was feuding would come out. Nia can't do that. Let's be serious. Nia's nowhere near Stone Cold's level. She sucks. She sucks. I say this every single week. But Nia was looking to state some kind of sit down strike. She was furious over being screwed out of the Raw Women's Championship next week. And I ranted on it last week. Why the hell are we protecting Nia Jax? Especially when it comes to one of the most dominant female superstars of all time when it comes to freaking Asuka. Why? What sense are we making here? Asuka is levels, leagues beyond Nia Jax's wrestling ability. But you guys want me to believe in Nia Jax needing to be protected? Really? She's garbage in the ring, straight garbage. Anyway, so she was furious about being screwed out of the Raw Women's Championship. R-Truth comes out and basically, you guys know R-Truth is hilarious, but this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why. R-Truth is hilarious, man. I love R-Truth, but I don't know why WWE was trying to be all funny here. This was retarded and stupid. You know, they have R-Truth coming out, and R-Truth accuses her of being Akira Tozawa in disguise, like a ninja. Because ninjas, study the art of deception. But Tozawa and the ninjas appeared around the ring. Nia just didn't give a crap. R-Truth ran away from Tozawa and his ninjas. Later in the show, we did have R-Truth versus Akira Tozawa for the 24/7 championship. And basically, Bobby Lashley and MVP came out. You guys remember we had that terrible tag team winner take all match between McIntyre, Truth versus Lashley and MVP last week. And remember, Truth did get the better of MVP and Lashley. So basically, Lashley and MVP came out to get payback. They took Truth out, and that allowed Akira Tozawa to take advantage and become the new 24/7 champion. So then, I just want to get it out of the way because why the hell would anybody want to freaking talk about that? What up, Sleeping Angels? We spent the first part of the podcast talking about Sasha Banks and Bailey, man. So I don't know. After the podcast is over, go watch the first 15 minutes. So because you missed the Sasha Banks little tyrant I went on. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So here we have, and like I said, guys, please forgive me. I don't have my mic with me. I left my mic at home, so that's why my audio doesn't sound as good as it usually does. And I didn't want to wait till like 12:30 till I get home because I know most of you guys are gonna be sleeping by then. So that's the reason why. Just forgive me. We'll be back to normal next podcast. I just forgot to bring my mic to work today. Anyway, uh, what are we talking about? Yeah, we're talking about Nia Jax. Nia Jax sucks, right? So after Akira Tozawa and R-Truth leave, we already talked about the 24/7 championship match. No need to mention it anymore. We spent enough time on that. After that, we see Charlotte come out. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then again, Charlotte's now a babyface again. So I don't know. I don't know like what the Sleeping Angels. I see what you said. Uh, Bro, it's because they have nothing else for the Raw Women's Championship. It takes Charlotte and Nia Jax out of the title picture, and it's going to lead us straight to Sasha and Bailey. Sasha's not beating Asuka. Just enjoy the match and the story. All right? Let's be serious. It's better than getting Charlotte and Nia Jax in another title match. I'm just going to say that. But watch the beginning of the podcast afterwards, and you'll see what I said about that. Anyway, getting back, I'm getting off topic. Here's the thing that, made me scared, that got me terrified. Charlotte comes out, and Charlotte's a babyface. It was reported that Charlotte was being pushed. Charlotte was being pushed back on Monday Night Raw as because Becky's being gone, so they want Charlotte to be the one to take Becky's spot. It seems like Charlotte's a full-blown babyface again, which is garbage. 1 week she's a heel, now she's back to being a babyface. Garbage. And remember, Charlotte was the one that was on Raw Talk Last week, calling Sasha Banks and Nia Jax entitled. Please. Right? Like, I don't know what the hell WWE was thinking about with here. So now, Charlotte goes full-blown heel on Raw Talk, then the next week, she's back to being a babyface? Why? Because Becky Lynch is not there? Instead of building up Lana, building up Bianca Belair as the new babyfaces in the Raw Women's division? We're just going to go back to the same old formula with Charlotte here? Come on! Use some common sense. Anyway, Charlotte comes out. She denounces Jackson's claims that she is where she is because of her father. This was terrible. How many times do they have to go down the route of Ric Flair? I say it every single week because I can say it because I'm analyzing the product and how bad it is. You guys serious? Are you guys serious? How many times do we have to bring it into the storyline though? It's one thing to analyze it, but it's another thing to keep putting it in the storyline every single time. You have nothing creative, nothing unique you can write for Charlotte Flair. You have to go through, I'm where I'm at because of my father's story for the millionth time. Come on, it's garbage. Nobody wants to see it. Use some common sense here, people. Come on. Anyway, Charlotte and Nia Jax, they start throwing insults at one another, and this led to a pull-apart brawl that ended with the Queen selling her left arm. And I knew exactly where it was going. Exactly how they protected Nia Jax last week. Now they're protecting Charlotte Flair. I don't know what the hell they were thinking here. The second they had Charlotte selling that left arm, I'm like, this is how Asuka's finally going to be able to defeat Charlotte. So later on in the night, I'm just skipping ahead because why not talk about it now? Charlotte has left tape on her arm, right? She has left tape all over her arm. And then we get Charlotte versus Asuka. Asuka finally defeats Charlotte. And she won with the Asuka lock. The fact that Charlotte actually tapped out, that's the part that got me. Yes, they have really good in-ring chemistry. Every time they share the ring, they have magic. It's like Sasha Banks and Bayley and Sasha and Charlotte. They have amazing chemistry with one another. Oh, excuse me. Charlotte loses by tapping out to the Asuka lock, and finally Asuka gets her first win against Charlotte. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy Asuka is still Raw Women's Champion. But let's be serious at the end of the day. Let's be serious here. They had to protect Charlotte for Asuka to get that win. Why can't Asuka ever get a clean win? This is what I'm talking about. The 50-50 booking. Why does Asuka always get 50-50 booked? Why can't she get a win over Nia Jax, who sucks? And what? For Asuka to finally beat Charlotte? What? We have to have Charlotte sell a left arm injury? Really? Garbage. This is garbage. That's what it is. I hate it. I really do. Asuka is supposed to, in my opinion, you guys know I think Sasha is the best in the world. I have Asuka right up there in second. Asuka does not need management to protect her opponents for her to get victories. All right, but no, this is what WWE's going to say. Just be happy. Just be happy that Asuka won. That's what they're going to tell us. Because that's the way WWE is for all these situations. It's terrible. It really is. And I honestly thought, because backstage after the match, Charlotte was interviewed by Charlie Caruso, and Charlotte applauded Asuka for going after her left arm. But Charlotte, of course, made the excuse that's the only reason why Asuka won. So, of course, Nia Jax attacked Charlotte again. So I don't know if this is a way to get Charlotte off the television, because Ric Flair later on said that Charlotte will be back. I don't know. So maybe this is a way to sell. They take Charlotte off television, which I'll be fine. I'll be happy because I don't want to see Charlotte. I'm tired of her. I'm fatigued of her. But the thing about it is, right, if Charlotte is going to be off television for the next couple of weeks, let's be serious here. Charlotte will be right back on right before SummerSlam. You really think that he's not going to have Charlotte on SummerSlam? No matter if they have a crowd or not, which they should have a crowd. I was watching NASCAR earlier this afternoon, and they have NASCAR fans back at races. I feel like we can have WWE events again. If we do social distancing in those matters, I feel like there's a way for us to have SummerSlam in Boston. I still hope it happens because I want Sasha versus Bailey to happen in Boston because I still have my SummerSlam ticket. Anyway, like I said, even if Charlotte is off television for a couple weeks, she's gonna be back before SummerSlam. There's no way WWE's gonna have Charlotte, their Golden Queen, not on the SummerSlam card. Let's be serious. But it looks like for now they're gonna give us a Charlotte and Nia Jax feud. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't care. If Charlotte's off television till SummerSlam, or if they give us Charlotte versus Nia Jax at Extreme Rules, I'm not watching. Because you guys know I hate both of these superstars with a dying passion. Don't care. Don't care. That's my thoughts on that. Asuka doesn't need management to protect her opponent so she can get victories. Garbage. The Raw Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. This is finally a match we've been waiting for weeks. This is the end of the anything you can do, we can do better series between the teams. And I've done enough ranting throughout the weeks. If WWE actually had a tag team division that we could invest ourselves in, that actually had, 6, 7, 8 teams, I would be fine with the storyline. But the fact is, when you only have 2 or 3 teams in the division, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to accept this at all. The match was very action-packed. Before the match, both teams, what's your name? I can't pronounce it, but Diallo, I'm going to call you that, if that's okay with you. Diallo says, do I like Becky Lynch? I was a Becky Lynch fan. I was just not a fan of her Raw Women's Championship reign. I believe Becky should have lost that belt to Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell. I don't hate Becky. I actually used to love her. I just feel like Becky became too political once she became the man. Hopefully, Becky being pregnant, giving her this break from WWE, when she comes back, hopefully, I'll love Becky Lynch again. Hopefully. All right. But I needed a break from Becky because she was overpushed. Becky was becoming Charlotte, in my opinion. And I really hated that. I was such a big Becky fan back in the day. For those who have been watching me for the last couple of years, you guys know I was a huge, huge Becky Lynch fan. And then once she, became her own champion, the way she was booked, I was not having it. I just wasn't having it at all. But we had the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. Like I said, this was an action-packed match. What WWE should have been doing is they should have been giving us best of 5 matches, best of anything you can do. We can do better in the ring. Instead of doing basketball and golf and bowling and all these other things, they should have done in the ring challenges. So maybe do like beat the clock, do gauntlet matches, do handicap matches, do things like that. That would be something more invested because then you have 2 of your best teams in the tag team division in all of WWE. All right, you guys want to be the best? Show us in the ring instead of doing all these events outside. But this was a really good match. It was action packed. It was fast. I thought the Viking Raiders were going to win, to be honest. But the Street Profits actually win. Dawkins wiped out Eric with a spear, and then Ford did the frog splash to get the win over Ivar. So after the match, both teams show respect to one another, but then Andrade and Angel Garza hit the ring and attacked the champions. Eric and Ivar came back to the ring to make the save for their friends. I predicted this. How many weeks have I been saying? You guys watching the chat, you guys can back me up. I've been saying for weeks. For weeks. All right. Where's Ricochet and Cedric Alexander? Uh, Andrade and Angel Garza, they're not being used in the tag team, or they're not being used in the United States title picture right now. Make them a tag team. You need tag teams on the show. Bring back Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Hey, you have 4 teams right there. Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory. There's another team you can use. 5 teams. All right, if you merge superstars that are not being used and put them in the tag team division, hell, you can make new teams. Now you have Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is not going to win the WWE Championship. Bobby Roode, once he's able to come back to the United States through Canada, there's another team you guys can use in the tag team division. You can actually build a decent tag team division on Raw. I don't know why. I legit said put Garza and Andrade as a tag team. Now they're going after the Raw Tag Team Champions. Now you have new opponents for the Street Profits. Hey, you can have these two teams feud over the next couple months. Maybe have Garza and Andrade become tag team champions at SummerSlam. I don't know, but at least it's something fresh and something new. And hopefully during this time, WWE can actually bring in some new tag teams and hopefully at least give us a decent Raw tag team division that for us to enter through the rest of the summer into the fall. Next up, we had we had Edge. All right, Edge. It was reported that Edge would be returning to Monday Night Raw tonight. He did a interview in an empty ring. It looked like it was at the Performance Center. All right, but this was definitely pre-recorded. Edge updated the WWE Universe on his future in the business. He said that Orton awakened in him a side of himself in which he does not care what he has to do to get what he wants. He said he wants to make Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy Orton's father, wish he was firing blanks on the night you were conceived. Citing not being able to pick up his children on Father's Day and the vicious assault Orton dealt to his lifelong friend Christian, Edge vowed to put away the PG superstar that had been happy just to be back doing what he loved. You've woken up the rated R superstar. This was awesome. This was a fantastic promo by Edge, and it tells me that the injury to Edge isn't as bad as what we thought. We heard that the injury was legit, and Dave Meltzer did report that Edge would probably be out for at least 6 to 8 months. I don't know if that's going to really be the case anymore. We'll just have to wait and see how that all goes. But, uh, I would not be surprised if Edge comes back before SummerSlam or Survivor Series, something like that. We're gonna get a third match between Edge and Orton. It's gonna happen. Edge is gonna get his payback on Randy. It's just gonna depend when. I know some people are pitching the storyline. Maybe Randy Orton becomes WWE champion, and that would be a nice layer to put on this storyline with Edge. Edge comes back and becomes WWE champion. That would be the ultimate revenge. Will WWE go in that direction? I don't know. I don't think so. At least for right now, Randy Orton said he has no desire to be WWE champion right now, but we don't know. We'll just have to see. But Randy Orton responded to the interview with Charlie Caruso backstage, and he was still digesting Edge's word. What do I do when I'm back in the corner? He says, I strike, because I'm the Viper, sometimes blindly and wildly. He said, I survive. It's Mother Nature. He said, Edge and Christian will live long, happy, healthy lives as long as they do it far, far, far away from me. This was great. Both Edge and Randy Orton, the promo work, this is easily feud of the year just based off promo work. The promos that these two give are absolutely incredible. And they delivered with the greatest wrestling match ever as it was advertised at Backlash. And I cannot wait for us to see the third match between these two. I don't know when Edge is gonna come back. We're just gonna be patient and see what happens. All right. But this was great promo work by both these two men. I'm going to go through this quickly. Liv Morgan versus Natalia. Absolute garbage. I didn't watch this match for a second. And it seems like Natalia is now heel, which I'll take. A heel Natalia is better than a babyface Natalia. I don't know why it looks like they're pairing Lana and Natalia together. I don't really care. Maybe it'll be another tag team for us having the tag team division, but Lana's garbage in the ring anyway. So I don't know. This was stupid. And I hate seeing Liv Morgan lose. I hate seeing Liv Morgan lose. Liv Morgan did have a backstage segment with Ruby Riott. I don't know. It looks like WWE's teasing putting Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan together again. I don't know why. I don't know why WWE breaks up two superstars and then 6 to 7 months later they decide just to pair them back because they had nothing for them. Like, come on. Is this what you're gonna do with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville? What, 6 or 7 months later, you're going to pair Rose and Sonya Deville back with one another? Is that the plan? I don't know. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Hate seeing Liv Morgan lose. Next up, like I said, I'm speeding through the rest of this show because, like I said, most of this shit was garbage. Randy Orton came out. He was introduced by Ric Flair as being the best superstar ever. ever. All right. He talked about Nia Jax issuing a warning to her because Charlotte's coming. Charlotte's gonna come back and get revenge. Whatever. I don't care about Charlotte versus Nia Jax. We already talked about that. And I hate how WWE has to use Ric Flair to put her daughter's feud over. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When people say Charlotte is where she is because of her father, shit like this. What the point? What was the point of having Charlotte Flair be introduced by her father? What was the point of having Ric Flair come out and talking about Charlotte's feud with Nia Jax? What does that have to do with anything with Randy Orton? It's retarded. It really is retarded. There was no need for that. Garbage. But uh, Flair talked about Orton being the greatest star in WWE history. He's not. He's definitely a legend. He's definitely one of the all-time greats, one of the greatest world champions of our generation. But he's definitely not the greatest superstar of all time. All right, he's not on the level of a Stone Cold or a John Cena or an Undertaker or Shawn Michaels. At least in my opinion, I love Randy Orton. He's one of my favorites all the time. But I gotta be objective. I gotta be honest. But Orton came out. Orton said not to confuse nostalgia with legacy, equating his attacks on Edge and Christian as nostalgic. He said that the fire he feels in the pit of his stomach is simply him establishing his legacy. Orton also said he's getting pleasure out of being the Legend Killer again. I don't know. I don't mind the Legend Killer returning, but honestly, it's just an excuse for WWE to bring back legends like the Big Show, who should not be on television in 2020. I love Randy Orton, but I watched a video a couple months ago where a guy fancy booked WWE in his own right, and it had Randy Orton becoming the Rookie Killer. Randy Orton feuding with guys like Aleister Black, Ricochet, Humberto Carrillo, names like that, Matt Riddle. And then, even though at the end of the day he would win these feuds, but it would still leave those superstars in places where they still were able to make big time names for themselves. And I completely agree. I feel like that would be perfect for Randy Orton at this point in his career. I love Randy Orton. I love the Legend Killer. But the Legend Killer gimmick worked when Randy Orton was a rookie. The guy's a legend now. So why not you go vice versa and make this whole what's it called? Rookie Killer gimmick instead. Anyway, the Big Show came out and this was good. The promo work between the two are great. They're two veterans, of course, but it's just retarded. No, I don't want nobody wants to see Randy Orton versus the big guy in 2020. Let's be serious here. Nobody wants to see that garbage. All right, but basically, Big Show said, "I'm not going to let you glorify everything Randy Orton did." He vowed revenge for his friends Edge and Christian, but Orton, he called Orton a parasite that latches on everyone around him, and he said he and Flair will feel the wrath of a pissed off giant. Orton complimented Big Show before referring to him as a legend as well. He also called him and Big Show friends and suggested that it would be a shame for him to suffer the same fate as Edge and Christian. He finished with a warning, telling Big Show what happens from here on out is him. And so we're going to get Orton versus Big Show at Extreme Rules, and I don't care for it. Randy Orton's doing amazing work. You should be building Randy Orton to challenge Drew McIntyre, hopefully at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. I don't care for a Big Show feud in 2020. I'm sorry, I don't. No one gives a crap about this. I I hate it. I hate it. All right, but I don't know. I don't want to talk about this really. I really don't want to waste any more time talking about this. It was stupid. It was stupid. All right. I don't care about Randy Orton and the Big Show in 2020. Yes, it was a great promo. Both have really good chemistry with one another, but I don't care. Paul Heyman wanted to elevate the younger stars, not bring back Big Show, the feud with Randy Orton in 2020. But great job, Vincent Bruce. You're doing a fantastic job. Fantastic job. Anyway, Apollo Crews went one on one with Shelton Benjamin. Before that, he was on the VIP lounge, and they are teasing. Well, it looked like WWE was teasing Apollo Crews turning heel It looks like now they're teasing Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the United States Championship since Apollo refuses to join MVP's faction. MVP talked about him being one of the longest reigning United States champions of all time. He held that title for, what was it, 341 days at one point, something like that, which is basically a year. That's like 3 weeks. So basically, what's called a year-long title reign. It's called what it is. But and then he said, I'll say this: MVP has been doing fantastic work since being a manager. In the ring, he needs to stay retired. We don't need to see MVP in the ring. But as an advocate, as a heel manager, he is great at what he does. He's elevating Bobby Lashley. My problem is WWE always takes a superstar that was just in a world title feud and they put them in then a mid card title feud. Lashley was just battling for the WWE Championship last week. Now you have him going after the United States title because you have nothing else for him creatively. I hate when WWE does that. I hate that. Cruz and Benjamin, it was never really the focus of the segment. WWE has been teasing making a heel faction with Cruz, Benjamin, MVP, and Lashley. That can still happen, but it looks like they're going to set up Lashley to be the guy to take that title off Cruz. I don't see Cruz beating Lashley, especially if we get that at Extreme Rules. The only way Cruz remains Raw, United States champion is if he turns heel, which I don't see that happening right now. And the end of the show tonight, we had Rey Mysterio's return to Raw. This was decent. It was simple, but yet mostly effective. Rey Mysterio came out with Dominic, and they talked about the pride and the anger Mysterio had for his child going to Monday Night Raw without his father and taking on Rollins and the Messiah's faction. But he was proud of his son at the same time because he was able to escape out of harm's way. Dominic said he wasn't going anywhere after Mysterio said that he was going to handle Rollins on his own. Then we see Seth Rollins come. Seth arrives on the scenes and tease taking out both father and son. Then we see Murphy and Austin Theory come out, but Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black, who have not been seen on Raw the last couple of weeks, they return to even up the odds. So now it's basically a 4-on-3 scenario. So there was a point where the baby faces were down, and it looks like Rollins was going to put Dominic's eye into the steel ring step the same way they did to Mysterio, but the baby faces had Rollins and his group run out. All right, so I don't know where this is going. Maybe at Extreme Rules we get like a 6-man tag. I don't know. The way I thought that we should go about this is having Dominic versus Rollins at Extreme Rules, but we'll just have to see where it goes from here. All right, but definitely the storyline is nowhere close to being over between these two, but we'll just have to see where it goes over the next couple weeks. But other than that, guys, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Like I said, I was going to go fast through the show because other than Sasha Banks and Bayley, the rest of the show, nothing else really happened of substance to me. The way WWE, is going with Monday Night Raw each and every single week is they're putting in so much content. They're trying to put in so many storylines, so many title feuds, all this. So, like, when we do the review, just like 10 things that we have to talk about. But the thing is, those 10 things that we have to talk about, I would say about out of those 10 things, just maybe only 2 or 3 things that I actually give a damn about. If it's like Sasha and Bayley, or what's going on with Seth and Dominic, or what's happening with Drew McIntyre in the WWE Championship, and everything else that they put on this show, it's just like, I don't give a crap about because Bruce doesn't know how to book Monday Night Raw since he's Vince McMahon's cocksucker. I'm just telling you how it is, and I'm just being honest. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for joining me for the Raw review. I will see you guys later this week. Probably Wednesday for NXT, most likely. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. Once again, I apologize for the mic issues. I didn't bring my mic to work with me today, so that's the reason why the audio is not as clear as usually is. But thank you guys for joining me. Make sure to leave a like before you guys leave. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you guys later. Stay safe and healthy. Check out my Sasha Banks and Sammy Guevara video that's live on the channel already.